St. Louis, Missouri, and it is the last regular season road game of the season. Brewers are hoping there are more road games this year in the postseason, however. Final game of the set, Brewers Cardinals, Christian Yelich and the Milwaukee Brewers are on the doorstep of a postseason berth. They win tonight, they will punch their ticket to at least the wild card game. They have also moved within a breath of the Chicago Cubs in the National League Central. One game back in the loss column, a half game overall. The Brewers with their 91 wins, tied for the most wins in the National League. You see that 3.5 game lead in the wild card. Rockies leapfrogging the St. Louis Cardinals after the Brewers won Game 2 last night. So that sets the scene for us as we get ready for Game 3 tonight. Hi, everybody. Brian Anderson along with Bill Schroeder. We'll hear from Sophia Minnaert in just a moment. And I think we have set a record for most opens talking about one player. But this one player is doing historic things. And Christian Yelich, great season, great second half, great September, and now he's having a monster series against the Cardinals.
Yeah, just continues to pad his MVP credentials. Can't imagine he hasn't won it at this point with the way he's been able to compete here in the month of September, and in particular in this road trip. And here in St. Louis, I mean, it seems like every time the Brewers need a big hit, Christian Yelich is at the plate, and he has been able to deliver. On this road trip at .400 batting average, he's got 6 runs scored, 11 RBIs, and you're talking about a batting average of .400. Look at the OPS. I mean, driving the baseball, amazing stuff. Christian Yelich certainly has really put himself above the rest in that MVP race.
How about 2 games in this series with 8 RBIs? He has 11 RBIs on this road trip right now, and Yelich back in the lineup tonight. And as we bring in Sophia Minnaert here, Christian Yelich, Sophia, was a good first half player, really good, but he's been an off the chart second half player.
Yeah, and he'll tell you he probably wasn't even as locked in that first half, and now in the second half he homered at the All-Star game and he hasn't stopped hitting since. And we spoke about it last night. He was closing in on 100 RBIs. He was too short, and then last night delivers a career high 6 RBIs, including a big 3-run home run in the 9th. So here's a look at his second half numbers: 22 home runs, 61 RBIs, 88 hits. You see the OPS over 1,000. Just incredible production for Christian Yelich in the second half since the All-Star break. And he spoke with me on the last homestand about what has led to all of that production.
You know, you try and improve every year as a player, and I think you learn more about yourself and about the game of baseball every year that you play, and your goal is to improve on every season, I believe. And you know, you try and get yourself to a level as a player that you think you can be at, and you know, it's a credit to coaches and teammates that you've worked with throughout your career, including this season, and you know, hopefully it ends special for us.
The MVP frontrunner Christian Yelich will be behind Yolis Chassin as he takes the start for the 34th time this season. They're handing him the ball for Game 3. We'll take a look at Chassin's success coming up next.
on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Hupy and Abraham. Voted best, rated best, Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. By Miller Lite, great taste and only 96 calories. And by Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs.
It is a picture-perfect Wednesday night in St. Louis, Missouri. Sun setting, the gateway to the arch, the famous arch. John Gant on the mound for the Cardinals here tonight. He had a start against the Brewers back on August 19th. Gave up a couple of earned runs in 4 1/3 innings. He's pitched well in his 3 games. Jhoulys Chacín on the mound for the Brew Crew. His first career win against St. Louis on August 19th, that same date. He had never beaten them before. 6 shutout innings, and the Brewers would love that kind of outing tonight for sure. Brewers have a chance. They've won the series. Can they sweep the Cardinals? Can they play their way into the postseason? Brew Crew has a chance to sweep the Cardinals and celebrate on enemy territory. Plenty of magical moments. Some of those have come at their division rivals' expense. From a dramatic back-to-back home run walk-off to breaking up a no-hit bid that ended with more excitement. Now the Brew Crew has a chance to sweep the Cardinals and celebrate on enemy territory. The magic number is 1. It's win and in for the Brewers, and it begins now on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Well, big moment in the organization here tonight. Could be the Brewers trying to advance into the postseason, and they have a lot of work to do as well. It's not just making it to the postseason that is on their minds. They have a chance not only to get that postseason berth, also secure home field. Also, they could win this division and go right into the NLDS. They'd have to catch the Cubs. Right now they're a game back in the loss column. Lorenzo Cain ready to dig in. It's Cain, Yelich, and Aguilar at the top. Shaw, Braun, and Moustakas in the middle. Kratz, Arcia, and Chacín rounding out the Potawatomi starting 9 against right-hander John Gant. And his first pitch of the ball game is a swing and a foul, and away we go.
He's been pretty good. He's won 4 of his last 6 decisions. And his last time out, a no decision against the Giants. A very short start, 2 2/3, 4 hits, 3 walks. That was the issue for him. Only allowed 1 run. Yeah, making start number 19. He's worked out of the bullpen as well.
Lorenzo Cain, little cue shot foul. There's a much different scene here at Busch Stadium than it was for the opener Monday. It was a live wire crowd, high expectations. Now
there's a little bit of doubt in the minds of Cardinals fans. This game is also starting an hour earlier, so it's going to be a late arriving crowd as fans gather up from work. Here's Kane with a base hit to right field. Slaps it between Carpenter and Wong.
Well, how many times have we seen Kane do that on this road trip? I mean, just a beautiful approach. Able to slice that one out of the reach of Matt Carpenter into right field. Well, Brewers have been able to take leads in the first 2 games of this series. Had a 2-run first last night. And a good start tonight.
Lorenzo Cain starts play today, 4th in the league in hitting at .311. Christian Yelich is the league's leader in batting average. Comes in at .321. Drove in 6 runs last night, did Yelich. He has 104 RBIs on the season. Aguilar hit a home run yesterday. He's got 105. Both of those players trailing the league leader in RBIs, Javier Baez of the Cubs.
Yeah, he's come up with some huge hits in his 2-game series. First game of the series, a double to give the Brewers some insurance late. That was in the 9th inning on Monday, and yesterday with that bases clearing triple.
Kane, a base stealer, among league leaders in that category. Yelich with a big swing and a foul. Well, Yelich last night, 2 big swings of the bat. And this one, the home run, the 3-run blast, capping off a 6 RBI performance. Powerball home run number 33 of the year for Christian Yelich. And it felt like a night where he secured an MVP award in the National League with that performance. That get by Molina, and Lorenzo Cain on his way to second base with a wild pitch.
Yeah, spiked the fastball way in front of the plate. Not even Molina can handle that one. Brewers have been a little shoddy defensively in this series. Brewers have been taking advantage of all of their mistakes.
Puts a runner in scoring position for Yelich. Have a shift on for Yelich, and he takes a ball down and in. Good job by Molina getting down there to block that pitch.
And again's going to mix it up. I mean, 93, 94 most of the time with the fastball. A very good changeup. He throws a lot of changeups. He'll throw a slider from time to time. But basically, fastball changeup.
Two balls and a strike on Yelich. Kane with a modest lead and a tapper foul. Well, last night for the Brewers, it was the 8th time this season that the Brewers have hit 4 or more home runs. Second most in the National League. They've hit 4 or more. The Dodgers have 9 occasions, and now the Brewers with 8. The Phillies, the Diamondbacks, also teams with 4 or more home runs on 8 occasions. But the Brewers are 8-0 in those games, and 2 of those on this road trip.
Yeah, but it just hasn't been the home run ball they've been able to score runs. I mean, it's been, you know, drawing walks, coming up with hits. The first game of the series, they were able to beat the Cardinals, only 1 home run. The base on balls has really been a big part of the Brewers' offense in the month of September. Good patience at the plate, getting men on.
Three balls, 2 strikes. Yelich late fouls it over by the Brewers dugout.
Reaching back a little bit with that one. 96 by Gant, in on the hands of Yelich that time.
Now the Brewers' goal is to get into that Cardinal bullpen. Their late relief is excellent, and they have Carlos Martinez closing games now. He is certainly a multi-inning closer at this point of the season for the Cardinals, but the Brewers have been able to get into their middle relief, and that has been a weakness for St. Louis. They've got a lot of young pitchers in their starting rotation. They're starting to get towards an innings limit right now, and you're starting to see some of the wear and tear on a long Major League Baseball season. And the Brewers have stuck to the game plan. They have had long at-bats. And they've done a good job getting into the bullpen, and that's where they've scored a lot of their runs so far in this series. Full count to Yelich. Kane with a leadoff single, went to second on a wild pitch. And it's in the dirt, and Yelich draws the walk, and the first two have reached against John Gant, who's already thrown 11 pitches, and he's got 2 on and nobody out.
Yep, on cue. Gant with a 3-2 changeup in the dirt. Good patience by Yelich. Just check out our Pizza Ranch for the win. The offense has been very strong for the Brewers. In 5 games on this road trip, they're averaging over 7 runs a game, 39 runs overall. And consider they got shut out in Pittsburgh one of those games. And the Cardinals lineup very right-hand dominant. And that's good for Jhoulys Chacín. He's been very good against right-handers, a 185 opponent batting average against right-handed hitters.
Here comes Aguilar now with 2 on and nobody out. First inning, Brewers trying to strike first and put the Cardinals on their heels today. And back-to-back home runs in the first inning last night. Ryan Braun had a home run in the second inning of game 1. Jesus with 34 long balls right now, 105 runs batted in. OPS that is pushing towards 900. Had a good cut at it, fouls it back.
Yep, hit one out to right field last night. Always good to see Aguilar waiting back and driving that ball to the opposite field. Home runs by Aguilar and Braun in the first inning yesterday.
Well, Matt Carpenter, the National League leader in home runs with 36. And then there is Aguilar. You got a group in there at 34, and then Christian Yelich with 33. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gant with a long pause and a swing and a miss. That Vulcan changeup of John Gant.
And he's got good arm action on it. And just splits the middle finger and the ring finger and knocks down a lot of velocity on it. And you go from 94 to 83.
It's the same grip that Kyle Loesch had. Former Cardinal, former Brewer, used to throw that Vulcan changeup. It's a rare grip for a changeup. Hard to command, but Gant, that's one of his go-to pitches. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Aguilar fights one off foul. Got a fastball at 96. It's a lot of miles per hour to cover if you're a hitter with John Gant's fastball compared to his changeup.
And ordinarily he only goes to 96 when he's got his back against the wall, and right now he does. First inning, first 2 men on. Having to come out with his ace stuff already.
High stress pitches early. 19th start of the year for Gant. 3.68 ERA in those starts. And a swing and a miss. Aguilar strikes out. First out of the game is a punch out on a high fastball from Gant.
They're reaching back a little bit up out of the strike zone and coming up empty. Aguilar.
Gant coming off a short start his last time out. He did not finish the 3rd inning. Left the game after 3 consecutive walks against the Giants. That was a game that the Giants led. Cardinals had a comeback win. Cardinals swept the Giants preceding this series. The Brewers have won the first 2 so far and have secured a season series win against St. Louis. That still could come into play. The Brewers up 4 in the loss column to the Cardinals if somehow they ended up in a tie. And they were the 2 wild card teams. The Brewers, because they've won the season series, would host the wild card game. You wouldn't have a tiebreaker game to determine home field. You just go on head-to-head record. So the Brewers have won 10 out of 18 thus far. This is the 19th and final game of the regular season against St. Louis.
The Brewers have the tiebreaker advantage in against 2 of the 3 teams that they're contending against. Colorado, St. Louis. Cubs won the season series against the Brewers.
I think the Brewers would be ecstatic to go to Wrigley Field for a tiebreaker game, because that game would mean the Brewers are playing for a division title. It means they would finish with an identical record to the Cubs. No balls, 2 strikes on Travis Shaw. Up and in. Straightens him up. This will be pitch number 20 for John Gant. Brewers in their batting order 2, 3, and 4 go 33 homers, 34 homers, 31 homers. Second consecutive year they've had 3 players in the 30 home run club, and Shaw has been a part of it both years. The 1-2, Shaw fouls it back.
Yeah, all that, and then you get the Ryan Braun and Moustakas.
Oh yeah, then Ryan Braun. Then the soft spots in the batting order, right?
Yeah.
Braun and Moustakas.
Yeah. Brawny with 3 home runs in his series.
Ryan hit 2 last night. He has found something here in the last couple of weeks. He calls it an adrenaline push, courtesy of a pennant race.
Hit a Monday morning when he woke up, he said.
He looks like his 2011 self at this point. That's a great sign for the Brewers. Kane and Yelich aboard. Here's a 1-2. Shaw takes a ball. 2-2 the count. John Gant needed 86 pitches in that game against Chacin on August 19th against the Brewers. Couldn't get out of the 5th inning. 86 pitches for 13 outs. Gave up 6 hits and 2 runs. Shaw trying to call timeout, did not get it. He's upset about it. Skies into center field for the out. Kane can't tag, and Shaw is furious. Now the home plate umpire is the crew chief, Ted Barrett, and we saw often last night late timeout calls.
It's kind of what the Cardinals like to try and do, freeze the hitter, wait as long as they can right before time can be given to the hitter, and then they come to home plate, disrupting Travis Shaw right here. Right there you can see the lips. Read his lips. He's trying to call timeout. Ted Barrett didn't give it to him.
You could hear Ted Barrett. He said, "I didn't hear you. Say it louder next time." Shaw is a very soft-spoken individual, but the Cardinals employ this practice of when there are runners on, when you're in the stretch, they do hold the ball. They try to hold it. We talked about it last night. Try to hold it as long as they can, create a little tension in the hitters. Here's Ryan Braun. First ball swinging, bouncing ball to Jerko, and Gant's going to get out of the inning. A promising start, but the Brewers come up empty. Some high-stress pitches, though, for the Cardinals starter. Brewers fail to score. Cardinals are coming back. A lot of construction here. Big development outside this ballpark, out there in Ballpark Village. They keep expanding out there. It's a beautiful night for a ball game. Glad you're with us tonight. Potawatomi batting order for St. Louis with Carpenter, Martinez, and DeYoung. Ozuna, Jerko, Molina in the middle. Wong, Bader, and Gant round out the starting 9. That's the position player group we saw last night. And with the 2 lefties in there, Carpenter and Wong. Willie Chacin hoping to control those right-handed bats. He pitched to Jim here against the St. Louis Cardinals his last time in this venue.
Yep, August 19th right here. 6 innings, 4 hits, no runs in a 2-1 victory for the Brewers. Yeah, Chacin 0-3 in September. His 4 starts have come 2 against the Cubs, 2 against the Pirates. And now here against St. Louis. His last win came back on August 31st against the Nationals in Washington.
Matt Carpenter was ejected from last night's game, arguing that a strike called on a curveball from Knebel. And Carpenter on a backhand by Shaw. Nice play. Good strong throwing arm from Shaw. And there is out number 1.
Yeah, Chacin has not been able to eat up too many innings. He's gone 5 innings in a couple of starts. Not able to get out of the 4th or 5th in the other one. Yeah, the curveball, the 2-seamer, the 4-seamer for Chacin. He'll throw the slider, he'll drop down. Big start for him.
Well, the Brewers feel like this is a good lineup for Chacin to face with all the right-handed batters. He's a different pitcher against right-handed hitters. He has his full arsenal of breaking stuff and the sinking fastball as well, like that one, which is in there for a strike. He has great command on the inside corner to a right-handed batter, what they call arm side, and so it changes a little bit for him though against lefties. So you try to navigate around the 2 lefties in this lineup, and Carpenter and Wong, and then all the right-handed batters gives him an advantage. At least that's the way the Brewers feel about a matchup here. And so a couple of weeks ago when they rearranged their starting rotation, it was to give the ball to Chacin against the Pirates and the Cardinals. And he gets starts against those 2 division rivals on this road trip.
We mentioned in our pizza rants for the win, a 185 batting average against to right-handed batters, 268 to lefties.
Chacin is also lined up to pitch in the wild card game if the Brewers end up in that one. That one is lined into left field. Braun playing deep is right there to make the catch. Jose Martinez, he's been a tough out and he hits it hard, but nothing to show for it.
Yeah, he can hit. Chacin got him out on the end of the bat. Looked like a breaking pitch. There have been times, and quite often as of late, that Chacin seems to have better command of curveball than fastball, interestingly enough.
Sometimes you get the feeling that he'd rather get behind in the count and then start throwing the junk ball, the curveball, to get him out of a count or get the weak contact. It does seem that way, and I wouldn't put it past him.
He likes pitching. He's throwing that breaking pitch in fastball counts.
Shift is on. You see a lot of defensive maneuvering with Chacin on the mound. He has impeccable command, and when a pitcher does have strike throwing ability like he does, you can afford to take some risks defensively. You get a general idea where he's going to put the ball. 3 infielders on the left side for DeYoung, and he grounds one foul over that way.
That's the best combination for Chacin. That breaking pitch, fastball in, that 2-seamer, sinking in off the plate. Something going in on their hands and the breaking pitch going away from them.
He's got DeYoung 1 ball 2 strikes. He's looking for a 3-up 3-down inning. And a hard hit ball right to Arcia. 3 balls hit pretty well. Carpenter, Martinez, and DeYoung, but a 1-2-3 inning for Chacin. Moustakas ready to lead off.
baseball. The Brewers will host Fan Appreciation Weekend this Thursday, Friday through Sunday. The first 20,000 fans in attendance for every game against the Tigers will get a scratch-off card featuring a chance to win tickets and other great prizes.
Oh, we'll appreciate you on Thursday too, but we do it officially publicly on Friday. We do it every day. Last regular season homestand of the year against the Tigers. Mike Moustakas leads away. Big swing and a miss to start the count. Moustakas will be followed by Kratz, then Arcia. 23 pitches in the first inning for John Gant. Brewers had 2 on with nobody out and could not score. And another swing and a miss. High fastball.
And Brewers having a difficult time laying off that high fastball. Fastball up in the zone, change up down in the zone. That's the idea.
No balls, 2 strikes. And a high fly ball to left. Ozuna will ease in. There is out number 1. The Cubs and the Pirates will get started at 7:05 tonight. They are 55 minutes behind us. This game starting at 6:10. Jose Quintana for the Cubs, Ivan Nova for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Nova's been terrific in his last 3 starts. He was pitching well against the Brewers before the rain delay last Friday. And then after a 2-hour, 14-minute delay, they did not bring him back. And then the Brewers scored 6 runs in the 6th inning after that delay. So 2 things there. Brewers didn't have to deal with Nova the rest of that night, and he was locking them up. The other, he's fresh and ready for this start tonight against the Cubs. A bit of a tune-up his last time on the mound. 4 1/3 innings.
Yeah, the Cubs have only scored 1 run in the first 2 games of that 4-game series. That Pirates starting rotation, good as it gets, top to bottom.
No balls, 2 strikes on Eric Kratz with 1 away in the 2nd. Now for Jose Quintana of the Cubs, he took the loss in his last game against Chicago, the Chicago White Sox. Gave up 5 runs in 5 innings. So that'll be the matchup we've got our eyes on tonight concerning the division title. Kratz gets jammed and a ground ball to second base for out number 2.
And keeping an eye on the Phillies and the Rockies. Hasn't started yet.
Now that game is in Colorado at Coors Field. That's a 7:40 Central start. So the Phillies and the Rockies. Phillies are under 500.
Yeah, something else.
They have been really struggling. Colorado's been hot. Swept that series against the Arizona Diamondbacks, and then they've been able to take care of business against the Phillies.
Yep, they won 5 straight.
Here's Arcia, base hit to center field. First ball swinging, Orlando Arcia with a single, which will get Chacín to the plate.
Yep, off-speed pitch, able to wait back long enough. Sounded like he got it down on the end of the bat, but waited back enough on the curveball to dump it into center. Starting to swing the bat better and starting to go up the middle in the right field.
Chacín at the plate. Brewers clear their pitcher here in this 2nd inning. And let's see if Chacín can turn over the lineup and get to Kane. Last night, Gio Gonzalez had an RBI single. These pitchers take a lot of pride in their hitting, and when somebody strikes oil and drives in a run, it's a big party down there. Chacín has 1 RBI this year. 9 hits. Not a bad batting average for a pitcher. Making all of his starts this season. He's been out there on his regular turn every time out. 34th start of the season.
Very dependable. There's a lot to be said for that. Inconsistent, hasn't had too many bad starts.
You could see Chacín maybe get a tune-up inning out of the bullpen this weekend if the Brewers are in the wild card game. Would most certainly get a tune-up if they're in the division series. Now if there is a tiebreaker, which is still a very realistic possibility, that would be played on Monday, and a tiebreaker situation for the Brewers would be Wrigley Field Monday.
And that would be Chassin's turn to pitch. That would be his 5th day.
2 balls and a strike. There's a hot shot foul into the seats. Look out.
Yeah. Talk about turning on one.
You know what's ironic tonight? The Brewers have a magic number of 1 over the St. Louis Cardinals. It's 2 over the Rockies. But a win tonight for the Brewers secures a playoff berth. A win by the Brewers tonight also guarantees postseason for the Cubs. It's a foul ball. And what I'm interested to find out tonight, because theoretically the Brewers beat the Cardinals, they pop champagne in the clubhouse. Because the Brewers have won, the Cubs are now in the postseason. Do they pop champagne in their clubhouse?
A little bit.
It's a big deal to make it to the postseason.
Right. Cubs have been there quite a bit lately.
But both of these teams have their sights set on a division, so I'm kind of fascinated to see how this is all.
Well, the Brewers can pop a little bit more champagne. They have tomorrow off. The Cubs do not.
That's a good point. Right. Cubs have the Pirates tomorrow, and they'll be matching up against the Pirates ace Trevor Williams tomorrow night. 4th and final game of that series. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Arcia the runner at first, and that one is low for a ball. It's 3-2.
Well, these off days for the Brewers in August and September have really come up big, have they not? What an advantage.
Able to reset the bullpen every week. 6 of the last 7 weeks the Brewers have had Thursday off, including tomorrow. Just so valuable to be able to give your pen a reset. Runner goes. Chassin hits it hard, and Ozuna will make the play for the out. Some pretty good swings against John Gant. Brewers get a hit by Arcia. Inning is over. Still scoreless. On Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. By Ascension, coming together to give healthcare a better name. We are Ascension. And by Wisconsin Dells, the water park capital of the world. Stadium St. Louis, Busch version number 3. No score as we head to the bottom of the 2nd inning. Cardinals are coming to bat. Brewers fans are everywhere today. They're sensing another moment in the sun, trying to make it back to the postseason for the 5th time in franchise history. Chacín will face Marcell Ozuna to start it. 3, 4, and 5 coming up. Ozuna, Jerko, and Molina. 3 hard hit balls for outs in the first inning. And a 3 up, 3 down frame.
Ozuna's been the toughest out for the Brewers, it seems like, in this series. Boys, he's swinging it well right now.
23 homers, 87 RBIs. He is their RBI leader and hitting the ball with some force. He took Josh Hader deep in the opener, gave the Cardinals a late lead in that game. He's dealing with an injured shoulder that required a cortisone shot.
Yeah, just not throwing the baseball like he did, you know, even last year, year before. I mean, had one of the best arms in the big leagues, but not now.
2 balls and a strike. Ozuna right back to the mound. Chacín makes the play in self-defense. Boy, that was right in front of his eye. Very fortunate there.
This really incredible ability by Ozuna to pull the hands in. Watch where this pitch ends up. He pulls those hands in and just hits a bullet right back at Chacín, who's able to grab it. That's some pretty good hitting right there on a pitch that wasn't even a strike. Puts himself in good position to field. He squares his shoulders up and able to make the play.
And first ball swinging, Jerko. Hot ground ball to Moustakas, and there is out number 2.
He's very happy about the results. I mean, 5 up, 5 down, but every ball has been hit right on the nose.
Yadier Molina now. 2 outs. Hit number 20 last night. Brewers were out early, had a 6-0 lead. And Molina hit a 3-run home run that tightened it up, turned it into a game quickly. Brewers are +10 in runs in this series. Ran away from the Cardinals last night, but at the time it got tight, and on 2 occasions in 2 different innings the Cardinals had the go-ahead run at the plate last night. Molina hits that one hard into center field. Kane is at the track, and it is out number 3. Got him popping up, Yolis. No problem. 6 up, 6 down. And we remind you that single game tickets for this coming season of the Milwaukee Bucks are on sale right now. You can visit foxsportswisconsin.com/events for details. The Bucks.
Just around the corner, isn't it?
Yeah, wishing new coach Mike Budenholzer good luck taking over the Bucks, coming from the Atlanta Hawks, former NBA Coach of the Year. And they're getting ready. Got the first preseason game coming up, and then first year in the Fiserv Forum. It's going to be great. Top of the order for the Brewers. Lorenzo Cain starts it in the third. Then Yelich, then Aguilar. And Orlando Arcia single in the second inning, allowing Chacin to hit last inning. And here is Cain to right field. Fly ball to Martinez for out number one. What a night here, huh?
Perfect.
Just ideal fall conditions. Not a cloud in the sky. Beautiful, sunny, cool day. Humidity is way down. It's a completely different kind of feel than it was the first 2 days.
This is September baseball weather for sure.
Got that crispness in the air right now. This is when you want to be playing baseball, and especially playing winning baseball. Brewers have handled their business on this road trip. It has been impressive. You think about all the runs they've scored, and they got shut out in Pittsburgh.
39 runs in 5 games.
Brewers have a chance with a win tonight, not only to punch a ticket to the postseason, but in what we all considered the most pivotal road trip of the year, even back in spring training. If you're in a pennant race going through Pittsburgh and St. Louis, got a chance to go 5-1. They scored 39 runs, but in games they've actually scored runs. Let's say 4 games, 39 runs in 4 games. We can dismiss the shutout. We make the stats work for us.
Yeah, what's that? Almost 10 runs a game.
There you go. In games when they've actually scored runs.
I had to think about that for a second.
Yelich has been a big part of it. He's only driven in 11 on this road trip.
Yeah, just incredible consistency all season long. Hasn't been too many stretches where he hasn't been able to get hits. You can see the Cardinals, particularly Gant here today, really not real interested in throwing him strikes.
Second time he's walked, puts a runner on for Jesus Aguilar.
Cardinals figuring, let somebody else drive in the runs. I'm not going to mess with him anymore.
Aguilar's in our BP Brighter picture. 10 opposite field home runs this season, tied for 5th most in the majors. JD Martinez has 18 opposite field home runs. JD Martinez pulled a home run today, his 42nd of the year. You got Chris Davis, Giancarlo Stanton, Goldschmidt, and Aguilar. And they all have one thing in common: strong opposite field pole-to-pole power.
That's when you know Aguilar is seeing the baseball well, waiting back, driving that ball to right center. A lot of his home runs have come in that direction this year.
That is not a violent swing either. That's just a smooth, powerful stroke.
A lot of home runs to right, a lot of home runs with 2 strikes.
Well, Gant's got his number with that changeup.
You have to change up in the high fastball. That is a really good pitch. He really doesn't give that one away at all. I mean, doesn't change his release point, his arm action at all on that changeup. That's what makes a good changeup. Same delivery, just choke off the speed.
A swing and a miss. He's trying to wade back, but out in front of it.
Same thing he did his first time up to, Gant did to Aguilar. Then he got him on a high fastball. Let's see if he goes back up there again.
Gant in his 2nd year in the Cardinals system. He was in the Jaime Garcia trade with the Atlanta Braves off-season prior to last season. Made it to the big leagues with Atlanta. Made his debut with the Braves back in 2016. 7 starts for the Braves then. Last year, just 7 games with St. Louis, only 2 starts. This year, he's been back and forth between the rotation and the bullpen, but most recently in the rotation. And Aguilar into left center field, a base hit. Yelich will turn and head to third. And Aguilar finally got one he could square up. The Brewers have 2 on with 1 away here in the third.
Yep, he didn't get that one up enough. He tried to go up and in, but left it down. Aguilar jammed himself, but he's, as we talked about, he's so strong, muscles it out there in the left field. Fastball 95 off the plate, but not up. Aguilar got a chance to get a bat on it, and he got a base hit. And with that guy running, you know he's going to get to third base.
One thing to watch for in this series, and we've seen it in the first 2 games, the Brewers will take liberties with Marcell Ozuna in left field. He is not throwing the ball well at all with that shoulder injury. Went from one of the best throwers in the game to one of the worst. So Travis Shaw, chance to put the Brewers on the board, and a swing and a miss.
Good curveball.
Curveball at 77. The changeup is 83, 84, and the fastball has been as hard as 96 here tonight. First and third, 1 away. Travis flew out with 2 runners on in the first inning. That was first and second with 1 out. Now just a fly ball medium deep will score Christian Yelich. One ball, 1 strike on Shaw, sitting on 83 RBIs. And that's into right field, a base hit. Yelich will score. Aguilar's going to head to third. Here comes a throw, and Aguilar is out at third. Good 1-hop throw by Martinez, and Aguilar, trying to avoid that tag, is out and runs into the second out.
Yeah, it looked like he wasn't sure he was going to go to third. He kind of had some stutter steps around second. Pretty good throw from Martinez. He has difficulties out there defensively, but that was a pretty good throw into third base. Travis Shaw with a base hit, 1 run in. Aguilar trying to stretch it going around to third base, but yeah, good throw by Martinez, and Jerko able to apply the tag.
Aguilar just couldn't get to the bag, and you got to give Martinez credit. He makes a good throw, gets the out. The Brewers are forcing the issue on the Cardinals corner outfielders, Ozuna and Martinez. So that's part of the game plan. So give him credit in right field. He made a good throw. Here is Braun now with 2 outs and a runner at second. Shaw did advance on the throw to third. Well, over the years and the 12 years Braun has been in the big leagues, when he gets rolling, he is a freight train. And he's homered in back-to-back games. He's hit 3 home runs in the last 2 games. Multi-homer game last night.
And 2 of the outs that he made last night to second base were hit right on the nose. So he's barreling up everything right now.
No balls and a strike. Brewers lead 1-0. Braun on the ground foul. Every pitcher knows you have to pitch Braun inside, and it's always been that way. And if you can command that inside corner, maybe even a little bit off the inside corner, especially these days as Braun is trying to get the bat head out a little earlier, then you'll win the battle. But if you let it leak over just a little bit,
yep, and he'll sting one.
And he's always been a great breaking ball hitter. Let's see what Gant has in mind. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Takes a look at Shaw, and he buries the changeup.
You know, and that's the way you pitch most hitters. I mean, good hitters inside. Yeah, most good hitters cover the outside very well. They go up the middle, opposite field. But if you make a mistake, like you said, you leave it out over the plate a little bit, look out. Most guys have a difficult time commanding the inside corner.
One and two the count to Braun. Sitting on 18 home runs this season. And Braun on the ground, picked up by Jerko. And Braun hits it hard, but is retired, and the Brewers strand a runner. They run into it out at third. Shaw, though, with an RBI, and the Brewers strike first tonight in St. Louis.
Playoff action beginning on Tuesday, October 2nd. View the complete postseason schedule. Go to MLB.com/postseason and do it now.
Yes, sir.
That's an order.
1-0. The Brewers have the lead. Chacin back to work. 6 up, 6 down for Yoeli Chacin. Been some hard hit balls, but he is plowing through the Cardinal lineup.
First 2 innings, only 19 pitches. Every out has been hit pretty hard. But the Brewers have positioned themselves perfectly tonight so far.
It's a good way to put it. The Atom balls. Long with a swing and a foul. It's 1-2 now.
Yeah, 19 pitches for Chacin in 2 innings. John Gant needed 23 pitches to get through the first inning.
Yeah, high stress first inning for Gant. You figure that'll have an effect later in this game. The Brewers have just scored off Gant with a base hit by Travis Shaw. That was a quick release by Chacin, and Wong is out. He'll do that every now and then, and it is an effective tool. A lot of hitters will just take that pitch, but Chacin likes to do that with 2 strikes. Can be unnerving for your timing as a hitter.
Yeah, that's what it's all about for Chacin, keeping the timing, disrupting the timing, and anything he can do to keep you off balance, he's going to do it. A fastball right down the middle. You can see Wong a little bit behind it because of the quick pitch.
So 1 away. Here is Harrison Bader. Look out, up and in, and did it hit him?
Foul ball.
Or is it a foul ball? There you go. Strike 1. Yikes. Harrison Bader hitting 8th in his lineup. Packs a punch in that 8 spot. That one way up and in as Bader trying to bunt his way on. Oh, yeah. Chacin even frightened him, and he's the one to let the pitch go.
Yeah.
On the ground to Arcia. Gobbles it up. Takes care of the speedy Bader for out number 2. 8 in a row retired by Chassin.
So you don't need strikeouts to get through in order, right? Yeah, get outs, minimum of pitches, and keep that pitch count down. A lot of ground ball outs for Chassin. 4 of them so far.
Strikeouts are fascist, Ron.
Not necessary, though.
2 outs. Here is John Gann. That's my Bull Durham reference for the night.
Yeah, I got it.
Crash Davis went out to the mound. Abby LaLouche.
Yeah.
Breathe through your eyelids.
You know all about that kind of stuff. You caught.
I loved catching. I hated hitting. People would ask, don't you just love playing baseball? No, I love playing half the game of baseball.
So instead of being the DH, you'd just like to be the designated catcher.
I would have done that. I would have done that. Hitting was the thing that put me in a perpetual bad mood.
That's the fun part of the game.
Yeah. For guys like you hitting bombs in the old ACC in your white shoes at Clemson, and you know, hitting bombs in the big leagues off Nolan Ryan and whatnot. It's different. As a called strike 3, and Chassin strikes out his mound opponent. First K of the game. First time through the batting order. Chassin 9 up, 9 down.
To see the Brewers advance into the postseason, their magic number down to 1. And talking to the players, they have been a loose and confident group all year long, and today that was no different in the clubhouse. Talking to some of them, including first baseman Jesus Aguilar, he said, you know, baseball is a funny game. For the guys that were on this team last year, they certainly remember being eliminated here at Busch Stadium in the second to last game of the season. And he said this year we have the opportunity to clinch a wild card spot here. So he said certainly that experience was very valuable. And he said there is a lot of emotion around here today. He said we all want to celebrate, but really it's about staying the same. He said we've been playing the right way for the better part of September and really the better part of all season. And so he said that's how we need to continue to play here tonight. So certainly there's a lot of excitement, there's a lot of energy in the clubhouse, and they're hoping that that can carry over into a celebration after the game.
Yeah, the Brewers are ready for that, and they're hoping to take care of business here tonight. And you can certainly look across the history of the franchise And any winning scenario and any elimination scenario, there's a pretty good bet the Cardinals are part of it, one way or the other.
Yeah. All the way back to 1982, right? But you know, the one thing you could say about the Brewers and their mentality, they've handled success just as well as they've handled adversity this year. It doesn't seem to really bother them one day to the next. You would never know showing up to the ballpark, watching the guys if they won or lost, and that's a good trait.
Bit of a surprise the Brewers were in a pennant race down to the second to last day of the year last year, and I think that sped up the process of this rebuild, and that allowed David Stearns and Matt Arnold and company in the front office to go make some deals, and some deals they made. Not only did they sign Lorenzo Cain. Lorenzo Cain sees what the Brewers are doing, feels like this is a comfortable spot for him. They make the trade for Christian Yelich. They sign Yoli Chacin. A lot of players want to be here right now, and I think after that article Christian Yelich wrote in the Players Tribune today, if you haven't read it, it's fantastic.
Yeah,
you could not ask, from an organizational perspective, you could not ask a player to write anything better than what Yelich did.
You couldn't give a better endorsement.
Let me know if you...
of the organization, the fan base, the players. Yeah, you name it.
Moustakas draws a leadoff walk, and that pitch count starting to rise now for Gant after surrendering a run on a hit, 2 hits last inning. So a man on with Eric Kratz coming up. I talked to Yelich before the game. I said, man, you have no idea what an article like that means to the Milwaukee community. He goes, you know, I mean it. It's the truth. It's a great place to play, to live. It's a great organization to be a part of. There's a family aspect to it. And he said, I didn't necessarily want to write an article. And it took about a month. He said he really poured over it, and he's not a professional writer. He grinded over it. But he said, I really got into it. And I wanted to have this be a letter to the fans, even though it was for a national publication. It did get very specific to Brewers fans.
Yes, it did.
In the last half of the article.
And I was talking to him in the clubhouse, and he says he feels good for the folks that work in the front office. You know, the folks that sell tickets and all the people behind the scenes, that the team is doing well. He knows how important it is to them as well. You don't hear too many players talk about that.
What a player. Great player, great guy off the field as well. 1 ball, no strikes. Eric Kratz, a swing and a miss.
I remember talking to a player, it was a while ago, one of my first years, and you know, talking to one of the front office folks, and the question that they had for the front office guy was, what do you do in the off season? I mean, some of these guys, at least back in the day, they didn't really realize all the work that went in every day of the year.
Yeah, that hurts. That's not what you want to hear. That is a lack of situational awareness, right? And you hear Kratz calling timeout as well. Did not get that call. Brewers are trying to get a couple of timeouts called with these long pauses.
Well, they were able to get time last night, not tonight. Ted Barrett has a different idea.
Two balls and a strike. Kratz to the right side. That is going to be gloved by Wong to his feet to make the play. Well, for a guy with a bad hamstring, that was a pretty nifty play. Wong, an excellent defender with great range, and he takes a hit away from Eric Kratz.
Well, he's worked hard on his defense. When he first got called up, a little suspect defensively, made some errors. But he has turned himself into a very good defensive second baseman. Good range, good hands. He did commit an error last night, but doesn't make too many.
Does advance a runner to second base. Here is Arcia now. Arcia takes a ball.
Took a first pitch curveball and hit it into center field his first time up. One
ball, no strikes. Arcia hitting 8th. Clean single to center field in the second inning. Brewers scoring in the third. And Arcia fouls it away late on the pitch. Maybe. Arcia gets the starts at shortstop when the ground ball pitchers are in. Guys like Wade Miley and Zach Davies and Yolis Chassin.
Been playing a lot more lately, though. I mean, batting average going up in the right direction and putting together some better at bats.
He's had 5 hits on the road trip. This is game number 5 for him. 5 for 17 on the road trip is Arcia. He's actually had a good year against the Cardinals overall. 9 hits, 4 RBIs against St. Louis in the season series, and is now 3 for 7 in this series against the Cardinals. 2 balls and a strike. Moustakas with a big lead at second. Arcia takes a ball and it's 3-1. Cardinal bullpen is hot.
Cardinals can't afford to wait around too long. This is a must win for the Cardinals.
Brewers would love nothing more than to get in there early. Dominic Leone, who we have seen in the first 2 games of this series, is preparing for an entry here in the 4th, perhaps. 3 balls and a strike. Arcia on the ground. Moustakas going to third, and now in a rundown. And he will stay in that rundown long enough for Arcia to make it to second base.
Good job by Moustakas. He made a base running error, but somewhat made up for it by staying in the pickle long enough to allow Arcia to get to second. Good job.
And you know what? When it's all said and done, the Brewers have a better runner at second base with 2 outs.
Yep.
It was going to be a runner at second with 2 outs regardless.
Make lemonade out of lemons there.
So here is Chassin. Hit the ball sharply his last time up. He lined out to left field. Pitcher trying to help his own cause here with Arcia at second base. Well, the good news in this game, it's a 1-0 game, but the Brewers have already gone 2 trips around the batting order, and we're only in the 4th inning. Pitch number 76 for John Gant.
Chassin hit one of the hardest balls that the Brewers have hit tonight. Lined out to left his first time up.
Foul pop over is Carpenter and runs out of room. Pirates on the board early in Chicago tonight. Jose Osuna with a first inning home run. They play in the bottom of the 1st. They're just underway at Wrigley.
Fans getting a little restless at Wrigley Field in this series.
A Brewer win and a Cub loss. Not only would the Brewers take over first place in the division, they would have the best record in the division. There's a lot on the line here, a lot to be determined. Swing and a miss. Chassin strikes out to end the inning. Brewers make a little noise, though. They add to the pitch count of Gant. We head to the bottom of the 4th.
series here in Milwaukee. It's the Brewers watch viewing party here in downtown Milwaukee. Everybody having a good time so far. If you're in the area, stop by. We've got a lot of giveaways going on here. We'll have updates throughout the broadcast here tonight. Everyone here hoping the Brewers can clinch a playoff berth here tonight. B.N. Rock, let's send it back to you.
All right, Craig, thanks. You got a small glimpse of why Craig Kashawn attended 7 different universities in the state of Wisconsin.
I'll tell you what, I want one of those vests.
I
You
like
see,
that.
that's pretty nice.
When do we get some of that swag?
That'd be great to have in the cold weather.
It'd be a good night to wear one. All right, we're looking forward to checking in with those folks. Looks like a party. Yoeli Chacín back to work. First time through the batting order. 9 up, 9 down with a strikeout. A lot of hard hit balls against Chacín, but he is through the order once. No runs, no hits. Been pitching from the windup exclusively here as he faces Matt Carpenter, who's having a dismal month of September. Since August 29th, Carpenter is hitting 182. Has just 2 home runs in about a month. 9 RBIs.
And a good breaking pitch right there. Hasn't been a great year with the batting average for Carpenter, but certainly the home runs. 36 home runs, only 80 RBIs for Carpenter.
That was a 3.5-month stretch in the summer where he was one of the better hitters in the game, put himself in the MVP conversation. There's a strike. Chacín with the breaking ball again. From May 16th to August 28th. So 3.5 months. Carpenter, 318 average, 31 home runs, 58 runs batted in. Hit 31 of his 36 home runs in that stretch.
Another quick pitch by Chacín. See how quickly Carpenter started to get it ready. Think about that quick pitch. You got to throw it for strikes. Got to throw it in the zone.
Creates a little panic with the hitter. He did get an out off the bat of Wong on that. There's a fastball high. Didn't miss by much, but Carpenter draws the walk, and the Cardinals have a man on.
I think Carpenter very surprised by that fastball, and it was pretty close. He took it. Ted Barrett didn't like it. Thought it was a bit high. Might have been, but Carpenter not sure if that was going to be a strike or a ball. Got lucky. He was fooled on that pitch.
First time tonight the Cardinals have had a base runner. Puts Chacín in the stretch. And here is Jose Martinez.
One of those backup front door curveballs by Chacín tonight, not by design. That's just the way they're ending up. That's a dangerous pitch to leave that curveball in on a right-handed batter like that.
One ball, one strike on Martinez. Martinez lined out to left field in the first inning. Hit it deep to left. Braun ran it down. That was the second out of the inning. Cardinals not a team hits a lot of ground balls. Chacín does get a lot of ground balls though. This is an elevation team.
Yeah.
Especially Matt Carpenter and Martinez.
Martinez is a really good hitter. I mean, makes good contact, hits the ball over the diamond. He's been a tough out in this series too, as well as Ozuna.
Martinez has had his struggles against Yoeli Chacín. He's only 1 for 9 career, but that one hit was a home run. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And a swing and a foul. He just got a piece. Boy, a big rip on a 2-strike pitch.
Down the middle, but pulled the string enough to get him out in front.
Every time you see a Chacín breaking ball, he calls it his slider. It's probably not a curve and not a slider. We used to call that the slurve, right? I mean, that would probably be a good description for it, but note the velocity on the pitch, because he can hit a few numbers on that radar gun, up and down. The 1-2, and that one is upstairs, fouled away.
That's the one right there that, you know, not much difference in velocity, but he kind of releases a little bit differently. Doesn't have the big curveball type tilt to it. More the slider.
It's all by design, and there's so much subtlety to his pitching. The arc on the break, the speed on the pitch, and it's all pretty much one grip, and he's just got a great feel of how to throw that pitch. He'll throw it in any count. Another 1-2 pitch. Carpenter at first, and he got him. That was a sharp slider looking pitch right there, and Martinez is a strikeout.
Yeah, it's the same grip, but the difference in movement is all about the velocity and the release point. And the release point right there, a little bit more over the top, but acts more like a slider, that pitch, as opposed to that looping curveball in the upper 70s.
It's fascinating to just look at the shapes of the pitches he throws. And then the location, the up and down, the in and out. Here's DeYoung now, and there is strike one. Flipped one in to get ahead.
When you describe a pitcher as a guy that pitches backwards, that's Chacín. That's exactly what he does. He sets up fastball with breaking pitch. He needs good command of the breaking pitch to make the fastball effective. And most pitchers just the opposite.
One away, no balls and a strike. DeYoung a shot. Oh, it's by Moustakas. Down into the corner in left field. Braun cuts it off. Carpenter to third. And DeYoung into second base with a double. If Moustakas gloves it, he's got a chance to turn a double play. Yeah, but it was a hot shot.
Yeah, there's been a lot of hard hit balls off the bat to these Cardinals tonight. And the first time the Brewers haven't been able to handle one. A in between hop to Moustakas down at third base. Not able to handle it all the way down in the corner, and the Cardinals set up in the fourth, second and third, one out.
And their best run producer coming up in Ozuna. Double for DeYoung. He's got 23 doubles to go along with 19 home runs now. Dangerous bat. Brewers lead 1-0. Ozuna takes a ball low. Got a base open at first. You might see Chacín kind of wiggle around the edges here to see if Ozuna will chase.
Yeah, 'cause this guy's been red hot, swinging the bat well in the series, having a good month of September.
Brewers outfielders playing deep. All very accurate throwers in the outfield. Braun has the best arm. He and Kane comparable. 2-0.
And nothing wrong with setting up the double play. All the ground balls that Chacín's induced already tonight. That double even a ground ball, really.
Ozuna's always hit Chacín well. 6 for 12 in his career. And Chacín gives him the breaking ball, and he's not biting. 3 balls, no strikes. And this is what I'm talking about with Chacín pitching backwards. He gets behind in the counts like this. This is what makes him as good as he is. He'll throw those breaking balls.
And this guy will be swinging at a fastball here. No doubt.
3 balls, no strikes. And Chacín gets him to swing at a slider. Ozuna coming out of his bright yellow sleeve.
A good pitch.
probably going to see 2 more. He wants to chase him fine. Walk's not the worst thing here. Brewers lead 1-0. That hit by DeYoung, the first of the game. Chacin had 3 perfect innings to start it. Here's a 3-1. And he missed with a fastball. And Ozuna draws the walk. They are loaded up for St. Louis now with 1 gone and Jed Jerko coming up. Jed Jerko twice batted with the bases loaded last night. Grounded into a double play and flew out to right to end an inning.
And the Brewers need a double play right now.
Jerko's bounced into 11 this year. He is finding himself at the plate with a ton of runners on base.
Better command with breaking pitch than fastball. That's Joey Chacin lately. But if you're going to miss with that fastball at only 93, you better miss down. That's what he does.
Left-hander Xavier Cedeno is getting loose. That is probably for Colton Wong, who's still 2 batters away. You got Jerko here, then Molina. And a big swing by Jerko. Tied him up with a fastball. That's a big pitch for Chacin. Now you've got to move it a little bit.
Yep, always on the edges, just a little bit off the inside corner, outside corner, getting a chase. More comfortable throwing the fastball off the plate. Breaking pitches on the plate.
One ball, 1 strike. And a high fly ball. Braun will settle under it. Carpenter is the runner at third. Braun's throw coming all the way in. And we are tied. Sacrifice fly by Jed Jerko. Second out of the inning. But the Cardinals are on the board in the 4th.
Yep, the leadoff walk to Matt Carpenter on a very borderline pitch on a 3-2 count. Comes around to score. 2 walks in the inning. The one almost an intentional walk to Ozuna. And the double that went off the glove of Moustakas. So this inning could have been a lot different.
First and second now, Molina at the plate. Hit a 3-run home run last night. He has been clutch throughout his career. Swing inning here for Chacin, and Kratz wants to talk about it.
If he gets on, it might be it for Chacin, as you talked about. Cedeno getting loose in the pen. Left-hander coming up. Greg Counsell has not hesitated to pull the starters the entire month.
Junior Guerra getting loose as well. 2 outs, first and second, and Molina takes a ball down and away. Cubs have taken the lead at Wrigley. They've got a home run from Jason Hayward, hit a 2-run blast. So that's a 2-1 game as they're early in that one at Wrigley Field, bottom of the 2nd inning. Brewers had a 1-0 lead on a RBI single by Travis Shaw. Sac fly here from Jerko, and Molina takes ball 2. Chacin trying to fight his way through this 4th inning. Very few starting pitchers have been able to survive more than 4 in this recent run. It's been 4 or 5 every night. Hitters count for Molina. And he hits one sharply. Look at this play by Moustakas. plenty of time to make the throw. Aguilar puts the tag down, and the inning is over. A diving play by Mike Moustakas. Notice how he wiped his hand on his pants right before he threw the ball. Get it clean. And Molina is retired. 1-1 game. The fourth, had the bases loaded with one out. He's able to get out of there with just one run in. And now the Brewers back at the top of their order. Kane, Yelich, Aguilar against John Gant, and a first pitch curveball in for a strike. Kane has a single tonight. He's 1 for 2. Had a base hit to right. Tell you, the spot that Kane gets a lot of hits is between first and second, and you're noticing first basemen start to ease over in that hole a little bit.
That's his spot, especially with 2 strikes.
That can put a lot of pressure on a first baseman, though. With Kane's speed, you know you've got to sprint to the bag.
Well, the further you get off the line, the more shallow you have to play to be able to get to first base on a ground ball. You can't be off the line and deep. Just no way you're going to get there. And that helps Kane as well. A little flare over first.
One-two to Kane. Able to lay off, checks his swing. And it's 2-2 now. Kane just has a unique ability to flip the bat through the zone and place hits. Craig Counsell said it reminds him of a Pete Rose or a Rod Carew type player, but from the right side. And it's up the middle. Ranging over is DeYoung, and a good throw to get Lorenzo Cain for out number 1. Well, Christian Yelich coming up here with 1 away. Not only is he a great baseball player, he is an impactful writer, isn't he, Sophia?
Well, he absolutely is. And today on the Players Tribune, Christian Yelich released a letter documenting his time in Milwaukee and a number of great things he had to say, but this was one of them. It's going to take all of us. It's not just about the players on the field or the coaches in the dugout. No, our success in getting to and advancing in the playoffs is going to be just as much about you, because we feed off your energy. We really, really do. And so for Yelich, it was not just a reflection on his first year in Milwaukee and with the Brewers, but it was a call to action for fans. He really wants to see the continued fan support that they've enjoyed all season long for the final 3 games coming up against the Detroit Tigers, as the Brewers are chasing the Cubs in the standings. So for Christian Yelich, he was blown away by the response that he got from that Players Tribune article, and it is absolutely a must-read for all Brewers fans.
One thing he didn't put in the article is how well he is hitting against lefties. Cardinals didn't read it because they're bringing on a left-hander to face Christian Yelich in this situation. This is what the Cardinals did last night, except they didn't bring a pitcher in. They walked Lorenzo Cain with a left-hander on the mound to get to Yelich, and then Yelich launched a 3-run home run out of here.
Well, let's face it, I mean, lefty righty, he's hitting everybody right now, so Cardinals going to play the percentages, and you can see what he's done against left-handers this year. Just as good against lefties as he's been against right-handers, and he's hit 8 home runs. So pick your poison, if you will.
I was talking about the matchups with Craig Counsell and Yelich, and you know, he said he'd probably do the same thing depending on the kind of left-hander he had available. But it is a pick your poison scenario right now because Yelich is so locked in. He's almost a better hitter against left-handed pitching. Seems to stay in there. A lot more opposite field hits. But recently against lefties, he's been flashing a little power.
Well, they attack him with the off-speed stuff, and when they leave it upstairs like Cecil did last night, that's what ends up happening. I mean, you get the pitches down in the zone, you're going to get most hitters out, even a guy like Christian Yelich, but you know, he does such a good job of taking advantage of mistakes. You make a mistake to this guy, you will pay for it, and that's what he's been able to do.
He is second on the Powerball home run leaderboard, hit number 33 last night, and he will face Chasen Shreve in a 1-1 game, 1 out, nobody on. It's going to be one batter here for Shreve. There's no chance they would leave him in to face Aguilar, and there's double barrel action in the Cardinal bullpen.
And pretty good numbers for Shreve. 62 strikeouts, 51 in the third for him. Game number 58. Earned run average under 4.
Cardinals rolling the dice here, playing matchup with Yelich. Especially after last night. That was a hot topic of conversation for the Cardinals last night. John Gant goes 4 1/3, gives up a run on 4 hits.
Yeah, Brewers with 5 runs in the 8th and 9th innings yesterday, putting that one away. But if you look at it, if you're the Cardinals, I mean, you face Cain. Pretty good chance he's going to keep the ball in the ballpark, right? Not a big home run hitter, but right. You walk him, you go after Yelich, and you're more likely to give up a homer. And that's exactly what happened.
Big swing and a miss. 2 balls and a strike. Cardinals are basically saying we trust our left-hander more than the stats lefty on lefty for Yelich on the season. Two balls, 1 strike on Yelich. Outside, 3-1. That's the other part of Yelich's game against lefties, especially the slingers. He's got a great eye. He doesn't chase a lot of those breaking balls.
He stays right in there and uses left field effectively. Most left-handers are going to try and get you out of the way. He knows that.
Hitters count 3-1. See what Shreve gets him here. And Yelich lays off, and he walks him. 3rd walk of the game for Yelich. They bring on the lefty to face him, and it does not work. And now Mike Schilt is out to make a double switch. So you burned a left-hander. An effective left-hander against guys like Shaw and Moustakas. You burned your best lefty.
Yeah.
And now a right-hander's coming on with a runner on and Aguilar coming up. We'll take a timeout. Pitching change at Busch. have a lefty retire Yelich. He's no ordinary lefty, though, and he draws the walk. And now another pitching change here on a double switch. Third pitcher of the inning to the third batter of the inning. It is Dakota Hudson. Jairo Munoz has taken over on the other end of the double switch.
Yeah, he threw against the Brewers first game of this series. That was on Monday. 2/3 scoreless. Good numbers for him in his 25th game tonight.
Hudson, a starting pitcher in AAA. Good part of the season. He made 19 starts in Memphis, the Pacific Coast League champions this year. He was the pitcher of the year in the PCL. Won 13 games and 19 starts in AAA and a 2.5 ERA. Phenomenal numbers.
Yeah.
And a little tapper right in front of the plate. Molina will make the play for the out. So Aguilar is retired. Yelich will advance. And there are 2 men gone in this 5th inning.
The Brewers have had their chances in this game. Currently 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position. The only base hit was a Travis Shaw single to score a run in the 3rd inning. Brewers have had men on base.
Travis Shaw at the plate, presented by Blaze Pizza. Single and an RBI in the 3rd inning to put the Brewers on the board. A power sinker of Dakota Hudson. A low ball pitcher and a low ball hitter in Travis Shaw. Cardinals tied it with a run in the 4th on a sac fly by Jerko. But Chassin able to get out of a bases loaded jam with only 1 run. 1-0. Shaw takes a strike. You could see why the Cardinals are high on this kid. He's got some stuff.
Got big sink on his fastball. Gets a lot of ground ball outs.
One ball, 1 strike, and a breaking ball missed badly. 2-1. I always think as a hitter, if you see a breaking ball miss that much, do you automatically dismiss it from your mind, or do you make him prove he can throw a?
Well, you dismiss it until you get 2 strikes.
Shaw lashes 1 foul. He was late. 96 with a fastball.
Yeah, once you get two strikes, I mean, good hitters are not going to dismiss anything. They're just up there to protect the plate. Put the ball in play somehow.
Yelich with great speed at second base. Brewers trying to regain the lead here in the 5th. 2 outs. 2-2 the count on Travis Shaw. 3-2. Shaw, another Brewer hitter that sees a lot of pitches per plate appearance. He has a great eye, draws walks. Ryan Braun due next. Shaw would love to get him to the plate here in the 5th. Yelich ready to run on the crack of the bat with 2 outs. And a 3-2, and Shaw fouls it straight back. Had a good rip at it.
Yeah, good fastball up in the zone. That's a tough pitch to get a bat on. That kind of velocity upstairs.
Do it again. Another 3-2. Shaw in the air, left field. That's going to fall. And here comes Yelich. And the Brewers do take the lead. Travis Shaw with his 2nd RBI.
Yeah, it was that breaking pitch, right? I mean, it was 2 strikes. He got jammed and just kind of fisted it over the head of Munoz, who was just in the game. Both RBIs tonight coming off the bat of Travis tonight.
And Yelich scoring both of the runs on his 3rd walk.
Breaking ball got jammed on the label and just kind of fought it off into left field, and Christian Yelich able to score easily.
Another category that Yelich resides among league leaders. Runs scored this year. Yelich is now second in the league behind Charlie Blackmon. He's 2 behind Blackmon of the Rockies. 112 runs he scored. Braun jumping on the first pitch. 97 on the inside corner. The young power pitching that these two organizations have is jaw-dropping.
It's like everybody coming out throwing mid-90s, it seems like. Mid-90s movement.
All future starters right now pitching in the pen. And I'm thinking about guys like Burns and Woodruff, Peralta. But the Cardinals have a very deep roster and system full of starting pitchers like this, and they're developing their starters well. One ball, one strike. Braun at the plate with 2 outs. Shaw at first. And Braun down the right field line's going to slice foul.
That guys down in that bullpen wondering what's going on. Normally they're in the game by now.
That's true.
Don't forget about us. There's 15 guys down there.
Who do you figure's down tonight? Knebel?
Soria, maybe. He's been pitching a lot. Certainly Corey. Everybody else, stay ready.
Brewers do have an off day tomorrow. And then the final 3 against the Tigers. They'll be fully rested for that. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ryan Braun has made a living feasting on hanging sliders down in the count. Hoping he gets one right here. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and it's a fastball in there. 1-2 the count remains.
That's some pretty good movement coming in on the hands of Braun. Started on the inside corner, ended up off the plate. This guy's got good movement on that fastball.
Dakota Hudson. Here's another 1-2, and Braun on the ground, and it's off the glove, and it is going to be no play over at third base. Boy, that was pretty routine at third base.
Boy, the Cardinals defense has been dreadful in this series. It's been bad all season long. They lead all the baseball in errors, and they have made some mistakes in this series that have cost them dearly. Had a chance right there to get an out, but he dropped it twice.
E5. Munoz just into the game on the double switch. That brings Moustakas to the plate. 2 on, 2 outs. A run is in. The Brewers lead, and Moustakas takes a ball down and in.
Giving extra outs. Man, they're killers this time of year. Defense has been very good on this road trip. Very good in this series. Cardinals just the opposite. And it's not just the errors, it's plays they should have made that they've not.
Travis Shaw with the RBI single. That gave the Brewers the 2-1 lead. He's at second now. Braun at first. And Moustakas chops one foul. Moustakas could have very easily been a Cardinal. They were desperate for a left-handed bat and a third baseman, and he fit everything they were looking for. But the Brewers made the deal, had the better offer. Even though Milwaukee traded for Scope, they also made the play for Moustakas. There's a shot, but the shift is on, and right there to make the play is DeYoung, and the side is retired. Brewers get one back, though. They take the lead once again. Travis Shaw, familiar formula. Base hit single, scoring Yelich, ×2. And it's 2-1 Milwaukee as we go to the home fifth. On the year now, driving in a pair in this one. 2-1 Milwaukee, a tight one here at Busch Stadium. And Yoeli Chacín returning for his 5th inning of work. He'll have Wong, Bader, and Jairo Munoz. It is 7, 8, and 9 in the St. Louis batting order. There's a high drive into right center field. Yelich near the wall. He's got it for the out. Wong hit that like a bullet for it out.
He did. I thought off the bat that might have been a big fly into the Cardinals pen, but Yellen's able to track it down. I'll tell you what, Chacín has been giving up some hard contact tonight. He's only giving up the 1 hit. But the Cardinals have been squaring him up pretty good.
Yeah. Well, just pitch it to where your fielders are playing. That's all.
He's done that.
Hitters say hit them where they ain't. Pitchers say hit them where they is. Here's Harrison Bader. And a strike.
Even the only hit of the game for the Cardinals was right at Moustakas. Kind of a short hop, ate him up. Ended up down the line.
Doesn't feel like a one-hitter, but it is. 1 hit, 2 walks allowed. Cardinals scored last inning on the sac fly by Jerko, who's no longer in the game.
2 walks, 2 strikeouts. A lot of balls in play.
Quick release and a half swing. He goes through, and it's a strikeout for Chacín. Well, if you cannot catch the games on television, and there are 4 remaining, including this one, you can stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. You can download the app, take Fox Sports Wisconsin and Brewers baseball with you wherever you go. Two to one. Brewers lead it, 2 outs in the inning. And here is Jairo Munoz. First at bat of the night. On the first pitch, a little jam shot. Back is Shaw. He's there, and Yoeli Chacín with a very impressive inning. 3 up, 3 down, works quickly through the order. We go to the 6th inning, 2-1 Milwaukee.
Foundation harnesses the pride, passion, and commitment of Brewers fans, players, and other supporters to positively impact the community. The foundation focuses on health, education, recreation, and basic needs, and BCF thanks you for your support all season long.
Okay, Sophia, thanks. Here we go to the 6th inning now. Brewers at the plate. Eric Kratz will lead off against Dakota Hudson. Hudson, the third Cardinal pitcher used. Kratz coming around here for the 3rd time. He's had 2 ground ball outs to second base. Had a chance at a hit on his last ground ball. It was a terrific play by Colton Wong.
Yeah, diving play in the hole. Able to get him at first.
Bottom of the Brewers order, which includes Chacin due up 3rd in this inning. And Matt Carpenter ready to lead off in the 6th inning. Cardinals will have the top of their order coming up. Hudson giving up the run that gave the Brewers the lead on the little flare by Shaw. Faced 4 batters in the 5th inning. And a swing and a foul tip right into the mid of Molina for a strikeout. Out number 1.
I wonder if Craig Counsell is going to go to his bullpen. You got Chacin on deck. Cedeno's been throwing, and now Burns. So you figure it's going to be Cedeno for Carpenter, and then go to Burns.
Here is Arcia. Takes one down and away. Cubs have a 3-1 lead over the Pirates. Anthony Rizzo with a sacrifice fly. Hayward with a 2-run homer in that one for the Cubs. Jose Osuna had a home run for the Pirates. Saw Santana moving on deck. One ball, one strike.
No score in Colorado, 2nd inning.
Phillies are in Colorado. Actually, they just scored. Just as you said that, Rock. The Rockies just got one on the board.
Okay.
Stop giving the score. You just jinxed it.
My app is a little slow.
That came to the 2nd inning now. They just scored.
Right.
I mean, as soon as you said it,
I'll leave it to you.
Popped up. No, you're welcome to. Just mind the jinx. Sac fly by Carlos Gonzalez in that game. Cargo. There's a strike. Count goes full. 3-2 on Arcia.
There it is. Just popped up.
All right.
Should have waited.
What's the score in the Rockies game, Rock?
1-zip. Carlos Gonzalez sac fly.
Okay, nice. Thanks for the update. Well done. 3-2. And he got him. Arcia strikes out. There's that nasty sinker by Dakota Hudson. Back-to-back Ks. Arcia was ahead in the count. Ends up as a strikeout victim.
Yeah, sinker 96-97. That's not fair. A live arm for this young man.
Here is Domingo Santana off the bench for Milwaukee, where he has thrived since coming up as a September call-up. Chacin out of the game. Got a chance to win a game. Brewers starters don't have chances to win often here in September. But going the 5 innings and exiting with a lead will give him a shot at his 15th win of the year. Gave up just 1 hit. Only Cardinal run came on an out. A sac fly by Jerko.
Yeah, good command tonight. 2 walks, 3 punch outs, 1 hit. Good job by Chacin once again.
Santana with 5 homers on the season. Began the year with the Brewers. Had a couple of months in Milwaukee and then spent the rest of the summer in AAA. Gets that September call up though. And most of his at-bats have come off the bench and he has made it count. Santana as a pinch hitter is 10 for 26 with 2 homers, 4 runs batted in.
And back-to-back games off the bench with home runs.
He's trying to hit his way onto a postseason roster spot if the Brewers make it. With a magic number of 1. He does that well as well, draws the walk. And it's a 2-out base runner, which will flip the order to Lorenzo Cain now.
Yeah, 5th walk the Brewers have been able to get tonight. Yelich has 3 of them. The base on balls has been a big weapon for the Brewers this month.
And I think that's going to be, no, it looks like Mike Maddox coming out of the dugout. So this is a strategy discussion. Outstanding pitching coach from the Brewers to the Rangers and a couple of World Series appearances with Texas, and then to the Washington Nationals. And a lot of postseason experience with Mike Maddox. That was a quick visit there. I don't know if it was a check on an injury or more of a strategic discussion.
Well, can't imagine what he was talking to his pitcher about. I mean, Cain's been in the game. Just maybe wants to get square on the scouting report. Maybe had a little discussion about Yelich as well. Who knows? Interesting time for a visit.
That felt like a very specific game plan with Lorenzo Cain at the plate, huh?
Yeah.
Well, let's see how he attacks him here. 2 outs, Santana at first. Santana has great speed. And he'll be running on the crack of the bat. Anything down a line or in a gap, and he'll score.
And particularly down in left field. Cardinals have been working Lorenzo Cain inside all season. They've hit him 3 times.
Lorenzo with a hit tonight, 1 for 3. Hitting .312 for the season. Molina knocks it down. Amazing how he does that so often.
Yeah.
You got one chance on a fastball at 97 miles an hour. Most catchers watch that one go to the screen.
He just has, that sixth sense, to where that hop's going to end up, and seems to always be able to put the glove there.
It's a big play. Keep Santana at first. 2 balls and a strike. 2-2 now. Just when you think you got him as a pitcher, when you think your stuff's overpowering Lorenzo Cain, he delivers hits.
Yep, he's got that hole between first and second.
And McCarpenter holding Santana on. Plenty of room over there, and that's right off the end of the bat. DeYoung will go across. Cain retired, and Dakota Hudson impressive in an inning and 2/3. 2-1 Brewers. We go to the home 6th.
We check in on Wrigley Field, and the Pirates had taken an early 1-0 lead on Jose Ozuna's home run, but the Cubs would come back and answer right away in that first inning with a 2-run shot from Jason Hayward, that coming off of Pirates starter Ivan Nova. So it's Jose Quintana for the Cubs, Nova for the Pirates, and the Cubs currently lead at 4-1 in the fourth at Wrigley Field.
All right, Sophia, thanks. RBIs from Hayward, Rizzo, and Schwarber in that game. The Rockies, as Rock pointed out, taking a 1-0 lead over the Phillies. The new pitcher is Xavier Cedeno for the Brewers, and probably one pitcher to one batter with Carpenter at the plate. Burns getting loose.
The right-handers coming up behind Carpenter. We saw Cedeno last night, came in after Gonzalez was taken out. Gio Gonzalez gave up a hit and a walk and was taken out himself.
Carpenter certainly knows at this point in the game he is going to face Cedeno here, and if he comes back around, it'll be Hader. The game is tight. He draws a lot of attention. If the Cardinals had a little better makeup on their roster with left-handed bats, it wouldn't be such a big deal, but he is the one lefty you cannot let beat you. Cedeno looking for some redemption from yesterday. Brewers got him from the White Sox. He's been excellent. That outing yesterday notwithstanding, he's been exactly what Craig Counsell has asked him to be, that situational guy. He's also had some full innings.
Cutter's been a good pitch for him. Cutter curveball.
2 balls and a strike. 2-1 Brewers. Carpenter takes ball 3. Didn't miss by much. He's staring in at home plate umpire Ted Barrett. It's one of the best umpires in the game right there, Ted Barrett. You'll certainly see him in the postseason. 3-1. Carpenter in the air, left field. Braun is over. Will it hang in there? Braun reaches up and comes up empty, but a heck of an effort. Man, scaling the wall.
That would have been nice to get that out right there. Anytime you get Matt Carpenter out in the game, you feel like you just won the jackpot.
He was close.
Yeah. Ball just kept slicing further and further away, ends up out of his reach. Well, it looked like it started in fair territory.
Yeah. Full count to Carpenter. Carpenter walked and scored in the fourth. The 2 runs that the Brewers have scored, courtesy of walks. Ouch.
Got a pad there.
Well, it's a tale of 2 players, both right there in the MVP conversation. I'd say Carpenter was ahead of Yelich at the end of August in the MVP discussion. Carpenter has tailed off. Yelich has thrived in the month. Brewers are trying to get out of St. Louis without Carpenter getting hot, and they called strike 3. Burns off the edge.
Looked like the same pitch. It was called a ball about 3 pitches before that. Got the call that time. Carpenter not arguing. Got called out, got thrown out last night arguing the ball. Very similar to a pitch earlier in the at bat. This time Cedeno gets him.
Big pitch. Big out for the Brewers. You start counting them down. 11 outs to go. Brewers magic number down to 1. Good work by Cedeno. Here comes the rookie Corbin Burns.
by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. They get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen next season. It's offered courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
One man out here in the 6th inning. Cedeno gets Carpenter, and now Corbin Burns on to face Jose Martinez. A tight one here at Busch Stadium. 2-1 the score. Brewers have a lead. Martinez on the first pitch. Line drive left field. Braun is there, and it pops out of his glove. Martinez on his way to second. In and out of the glove of Braun. And the Cardinals have life in this 6th inning.
That was hit hard, but should have had it. That's a break for the Cardinals for sure. Martinez centers on one, hits a bullet out there. Braun able to get back, just flat lost it. I think if he picks it up cleanly the first time, it got out of his glove, he would have held him to first base, but dropped it.
Door is open now. Burns with the tying run at second. Paul DeYoung at the plate. And a first pitch slider in there for a strike. Burns has the strikeout stuff. He could use one in a spot like this. DeYoung with the double in the 4th inning. That has been the only hit of the game for the Cardinals. He hit a smash past Moustakas at third and down into the corner. He's got plenty of power. That hit him. Grazed the elbow. First and second with one out.
Craig Counsell questioned a hit batter, Matt Carpenter, first game of this series. Was not overturned. Let's see if Craig's going to go to a review. Those are awfully difficult to overturn. He looks like he sticks his hand out there, doesn't he? His arm, his elbow.
That definitely hit him.
Not much of an effort getting out of the way for sure.
So it's first and second. Here is Ozuna. Corbin Burns into a big spot here. An E7 and a hit batter. And Ozuna takes a ball. Boy, Pratt is frustrated he didn't get the strike call there. That bugged him.
And he's talking to Ozuna right now. Ozuna's probably saying, what are you talking about? If it's a strike, I'm going to swing at it. That's a strike. Pratt can't believe it. Look at Ozuna getting involved.
Burns would love a double play ball here to get out of the inning. He is facing the Cardinals' best hitter and their hottest hitter. The 1-0. Ozuna with a swing and a miss. That's his kryptonite right there.
Yep,
he's got the bad shoulder.
Yeah, high fastballs, that's where you have to get him, because low fastballs, we've seen him barrel those up the entire series.
Martinez reaching on an E7, hit the ball sharply, but in and out of the glove of Braun. The rookie Corbin Burns. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ozuna, a shot right to second. Shaw flips. Arce is there. Martinez caught off the bag, and it's a double play to end the inning. A base running mistake by Martinez. The Brewers cash it in. Corbin Burns gets out of it. Another gift by the Cardinals.
Terrible base running, man.
Inning over. Brewers still lead. After a base running mistake by Jose Martinez on a little soft liner by Ozuna. Here's Jordan Hicks now, the flame-throwing right-hander. He will face Christian Yelich to start the 7th inning.
You see the big strikeout totals, but he also has some pretty big walk totals. He's had a difficult time throwing strikes. 69 strikeouts. You would think he'd have more than that. That's because he gets behind in the count quite a bit. 42 walks in 76 innings. A guy that consistently throws in the triple digits.
He took over with a lead on Monday night. The Brewers were able to score to tie the game and then would go on to win the game. Can be erratic. The Brewers have patient hitters and they will certainly try to wait him out. Yelich, one of the better high velocity fastball hitters on the team. And he takes ball 2. Cubs have added to their lead on Ivan Nova and the Pirates. It is now 6-1 Chicago, bottom of the 4th.
Now you would think a guy like Hicks, he throws 101, 103 miles an hour, would have a lot more strikeouts than what he does. I mean, fewer strikeouts in innings pitched. That's a stunner. And it's all because he gets behind in the count.
He's an unusual high velocity pitcher that gets ground balls as well. Got that nasty slider, and he has some sink, or I guess run, on his fastball.
Going away from a left-handed batter.
Tough to call 100 miles an hour a sinker. Not enough gravity involved in that to make it sink to the ground, but he does get a lot of ground ball outs. 3-2 on Yelich. And he draws his 4th walk of the game. He has scored twice, and it's a leadoff walk here in the 7th. The Brewers have a man on with Aguilar coming up.
And that last one not even close.
Let's take you back to the double play that ended the inning run.
Well, what happened to the old adage, freeze on a line drive? Martinez heading toward third. He took about 3 steps and no chance to get back. Our Badger Mutual Insurance play of the game, a double play to end the inning. Just horrendous base running.
Here is Aguilar. Had a single in the 3rd. He's 1 for 3. Brewers in a big spot here in the 7th. If they can add on, they are set up where they want to be with their pitching staff. That's why that double play was so big for Milwaukee, because the Cardinals were going to use a pinch hitter next. Might have forced Counsell's hand. He had Hader getting ready. Now you can bump that back 1 more inning, and it might be a Hader-Jeffress to the finish line.
Hey, Josh Hader wants to get back there in the worst way. He got roughed up a couple days ago here at Busch Stadium. That doesn't happen very often.
Cardinals do have the pitcher spot due to lead off. 1 ball, 1 strike. Aguilar takes one outside, 2-1. Nothing like a pennant race. Every pitch, every inning. The strategy involved, especially in the National League game, it's so interesting, so fun. 2 balls and a strike. Aguilar takes one, and it's 2-2.
Much more of an emphasis on managerial decisions in the National League with a pitcher.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Aguilar hits it sharply right at DeYoung. This is going to turn into a 6-4-3 double play. He hit it right on the nose, but in the perfect spot for the Cardinals to turn 2. Tough break for Aguilar.
Yeah, nothing you can do about that. He hit it hard, but right at short. That's what we were just talking about. All the ground balls he gets hit for a guy that throws that hard. A little bit of a tail going into home plate. Fastball up. Easy double play with Aggie running.
And 2 gone for Travis Shaw now, who is 2 for 3. He's driven in both Brewer runs and has 2 of the 5 hits. 103 miles an hour. Yikes. He is topped out at 105 miles an hour. Hicks has thrown 19 of the 25 fastest pitches in the big leagues this year, according to StatCast. Pretty much Hicks and Aroldis Chapman of the Yankees.
Yep, 6'2", 205 pounds. That's about average height for a major league pitcher, right? I mean, not overly big.
One ball, 1 strike on Shaw. Swinging a broken bat grounder. Carpenter flips to Hicks, and that will retire the side. A double play ball wipes out a leadoff walk. Stretch time at Busch Stadium. Bottom of the 7th, 2-1 Milwaukee. Corbin Burns back on the mound for the Brewers, and the pitcher spot for the Cardinals. And Rock, interesting, they're going with Patrick Wisdom, a right-handed batter off the bench.
Yeah, they'd rather have this matchup with Burns with the right-hander than bringing a left-hander in there and have Hader come in.
And on the first pitch, he fouls it away.
And Burns gets through these next couple of hitters, and even if he's able to get through this whole inning, I mean, that bodes well for the Brewers. They got Wong hitting in the 3rd spot in this inning.
Hader stopped throwing for now. And you know Matt Adams and Matt Carpenter on that Cardinal bench saying, man, I hope you get him. There's a strike from Burns. Slider makes it 0-2. Patrick Wisdom hitting in the 5th spot in the order. The pitcher spot due to a double switch. And a swing and a miss. He struck him out with a slider. That was a good one.
I think Craig Counsell likes that matchup as well. That's why he left him in there. Hey, the Brewers will wrap up their regular season with a series against the Tigers at Miller Park starting this Friday evening. It's the last 5-county Friday of the season, and all 5-county residents can get half-price tickets for the series opener. To book your seats, go to Brewers.com today.
Corbin Burns continues to impress. Here's Yadier Molina. 2-1. Cardinals at the plate in the 7th. trailing, and a ground ball on a hop to Moustakas. There is out number 2. What Burns gets out of this 7th inning. If he gets through 2 different innings, which would be an inning and 2/3 for him, boy, that completely sets it up for Counsell the rest of the way.
They got Wong coming up. I think Craig Counsell is going to go get Burns.
Yeah, he is going to go get Burns, and he'll do it with a double switch.
That couldn't have worked out any better for Craig Counsell.
You're right. That's 4 big outs for Corbin Burns. Counsell going through the changes here. Probably going to be the end of Aguilar, I'm guessing. But we'll come back. We'll set it all up. Lefty coming up. Hader coming in. Brewers lead 2-1 in the 7th. Great taste and only 96 calories. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Bottom of the 7th at Busch Stadium. And the changes for the Brewers. Hader comes in to pitch. Perez will take over at second. Shaw moves to first. Aguilar is out. And they're going to leave Colton Wong in the game to face Hader. And the first pitch is high for ball 1.
Yeah, Josh got roughed up his last time out. That was Monday. Couple of walks, couple of home runs, gave up 3 runs in an inning of work. Appearance number 53 tonight.
Comes into a game in the 7th with 2 outs and a swing and a foul by Wong. 97-mile-an-hour fastball down the middle.
Yeah, it was location issues for him last time out on Monday. Getting a lot of the play. One of the things that's made him so good is his ability to work the edges.
It's been a second guesser's dream here, especially on the Cardinals side. The fact that Mike Shildt uses a right-handed batter with Corbin Burns in the game. Didn't send up one of his lefties, Adams or Garcia.
Yeah, that would have forced Hader in the game, and I think long term, 8th, 9th inning, that would have been to the benefit of the Cardinals.
2-1 pitch, fouled back, and the count 2-2 on Wong now.
A good move by Craig Counsell to keep Burns in the game, and even a better job by Burns to get the outs.
Shildt still has his 2 best left-handed bats on the bench. Garcia and Matt Adams. When you start to look at who would you hit those players for coming up.
Right. You're not going to do it at the top of the order.
Wong's in the 7th spot in the order. 2-2. Hader trying to finish off this 7th inning. And a swing and a miss. He struck him out. A fastball by Hader, right by Wong. And the Brewers 6 defensive outs away from a trip to the postseason. We go to the 8th. Tonight, a one-hitter turned in by Chassin and Burns and Hader. StatCast AI powered by AWS. Hard hit rate among National League batters since September 1st. Ryan Braun is at the top of the class. 64% of the batted balls in play for Ryan Braun have been 95 miles an hour or harder. And he's ready to lead off. The Cardinals getting into desperation mode here. They have their closer on the mound, and you bet he is going to be out there for the final 2 innings as he faces Ryan Braun. Carlos Martinez.
Yeah, he pitched 2 scoreless innings last time out, the 23rd of September against the Giants. Picked up a win in that game, his 8th win of the year.
He's been excellent out of the bullpen for St. Louis. They feel good about their late game relief when they leave, but that middle bullpen area has given them trouble in this rough month. 1 ball, 1 strike. And a breaking ball misses low. Boy, it looked like a pretty good pitch. Didn't get the call there. Molina upset about that.
Kind of a tight zone tonight, right? Both pitchers have been looking in at Ted Barrett.
Two to Braun. Martinez has 4 saves since entering into that closer's role for St. Louis. He's had moments out of the bullpen in the past. Started games up through the month of August. About 3rd week of August started coming out of the pen as Braun strikes out for the first out.
Yeah, he's always had a real good changeup. Changeup might be his best pitch. He got Brony on a changeup right there. Straight change going down 89 miles an hour.
Here's Mike Moustakas. No balls and a strike. Moustakas takes one inside. Brewers lead on 2 Travis Shaw singles. Both scored Yelich. Yelich has walked 4 times, scored twice. Has a career high in walks.
They're just not willing to pitch to him, right? Why would you?
The 1-1, Moustakas fouls it back.
Let somebody else beat him, and tonight it's Shaw. That's the one thing about, you know, pitching around a guy. He gets on base, and the way he runs the bases, somebody else drives him in.
One and two the count, and that one's outside. 2-2. Cardinals do have tomorrow off before they start up their series at Wrigley Field against the Cubs starting Friday. That's a 3-game series to finish the season. Longtime rivals, Cubs Cardinals. Moustakas way out in front. Back-to-back Ks for Martinez. That'll bring up Eric Kratz.
He does have that strikeout ability. He always has, but he has lapses in concentration, and he'll cruise along pretty good and all of a sudden give up a 3-4 spot. Loses command.
Has saves in each of his 4 chances in the month of September. Kind of flip-flopping he and Bud Norris. Moved to the bullpen in August after coming off the disabled list. There's Kratz down the line, foul. No activity in the Brewer bullpen. Josh Hader will head back out for the 8th. Harrison Bader scheduled to lead off. Jairo Munoz due second, and then to the top of the order, Carpenter. That'll probably be the end of Hader. Corbin Burns goes an inning and a third. Xavier Cedeno got an out, got Carpenter in the 6th inning. Yoli Chacin went the first 5 and is in line for the win. A sweep in St. Louis has been rare. Brewers have not swept the Cardinals at Busch Stadium since 2009. 2-2. Kratz takes a ball.
Just barely. Didn't miss by much. Best fastball of the inning for Martinez, up in the top of the zone.
Arcia due next. There are 2 outs. Here's a 3-2. Kratz fouls it away. Last time the Brewers swept the Cardinals in any series was June of 2011. Brewers have trailed in this series just a half an inning. That's it. It's either been tied or they've had the lead. And they've got the lead in the 8th. Here comes the Kratz, and a swing and a foul. He's hanging tough. Every pitch you can put on Martinez here in the 8th matters for the 9th.
And he's giving Kratz everything he's got. You know, sliders, curveballs, changeups.
Three and 2 to Kratz, and a swing and a miss. Martinez strikes out the side. You're going to see some of the best pitchers in the game the rest of the way. Martinez takes care of his job. Hader back on the mound. Three home games of the regular season, and the Detroit Tigers are coming in. Wisconsin native Jordan Zimmerman on Friday against Zach Davies. You got Miley against Daniel Norris, Spencer Turnbull, and TBA for the finale Sunday. Make sure you come join us at Miller Park. Josh Hader back on the mound. Brewers are inching their way toward a postseason berth as we play in the bottom of the 8th, 6 outs away. Hader got the final out of the 7th, striking out Colt Wong. And Harrison Bader at the plate. Munoz next, and then Carpenter.
You get through this inning, you retire Matt Carpenter, then you got right-handers coming up, and that'll be Jeremy Jeffress. Looks like he's starting to throw already.
Yeah, cross-weaving through the 6th and the 7th and the 8th. There's a strike on Bader, inside corner fastball. It's 1-2. Jeremy Jeffress starting to crank it up. Was not available in the opener here on Monday. Neck spasms. Wasn't even in the bullpen. 2-strike count on Bader. And a swing and a miss. He struck him out. Hader, another strikeout. Back to form now. 2 batters face, 2 strikeouts.
Location much better to Bader, and that went up in the zone. When he got hit on Monday night, it was down the middle of the plate, around the knees, you know, down around mid-thigh. He's effective when he's up in the strike zone with that fastball.
Josh Hader has had 188 batters to 2-strike counts. He has given up only 9 hits all year in 2-strike counts. 1 away. Munoz on the first pitch, pops it up. Travis Shaw, foul territory. 2 outs.
And now the fun begins. Top of the order's coming up. Matt Carpenter at the plate. Big boys coming up now.
Yep, the matchup in the crosshairs all season long. One of the best left-handed hitters in the game, and one of the best left-handed pitchers on the mound to try to put him away. at-bats. Going to have a chat here with Hader. 2 quick outs, a strikeout and a pop-up. That is worst game of the season when you consider the timing on Monday night. But for a guy who's been picking up the Brewers all year long, they picked him up on Monday. We're able to come back, tie the game against Hicks, take the lead against Bud Norris, and win the opener on Monday night. A matchup of 2 of the game's best right here. 2 all-stars. Hader and Carpenter. It'll be his last hitter no matter what. He either retires him and goes to the 9th or leaves mid-inning. Carpenter takes a ball.
Yeah, Carpenter's got 9 home runs against left-handers this year. Batting average down against lefties, but 9 home runs against southpaws, not too bad.
0 for 5 in his career against Hader. It has been 2-1 since the 5th inning when Travis Shaw drove in Yelich. Outstanding pitching tonight. Cardinals have 1 hit. Carpenter a swing and a miss. Big cut at a big fastball.
That's where you want to leave that fastball. Don't leave it down. This guy's a good low ball hitter.
Two strikes on Carpenter. Another hack at a 95-mile-an-hour heater.
See if he tries to get him to chase the slider. Maybe elevate the fastball out of the strike zone. Don't have to throw a strike.
2 outs, Cardinal 8th. Brewers clinging to a 1-run lead. Josh Hader ready. Fires. And Carpenter lays off, just nudging the edge there, trying to get him to bite. 2-2 now. Carpenter struck out his last time up. Xavier Cedeno got him on a down and away slider, just hit the corner. He's in a different airspeed than Hader. 2-2 pitch.
Been like that all night, both sides. Ted Barrett just very stingy. Those are tough pitches to take. Had the plate, didn't get the call.
3-2 now. Full count, 2 outs. Hader to Carpenter and a swing and a foul. Right on the edge. What a matchup. If your heart's not pounding right now, you're not a fan. This is as good as it gets.
Yeah.
Game on the line. Postseason berth potentially on the line.
And another close game, right? Man.
Do it again. Another 3-2 coming from Hader. And a foul ball out of play. Carpenter spoils a fastball right down the middle. But he's kept it in the upper half of the strike zone. Hader saw 2 home runs go out of here on Monday. And only given up 6 all year until Monday night. But he's retired all 3 batters he's faced with 2 strikeouts. Another 3-2 and another foul ball.
That's where you want to leave that fastball. Awfully difficult to get on top and barrel it up there. You have confidence in throwing the slider here.
Boy, one good one might do it, huh?
Yeah. He's thrown him 1. It was a ball, but it looked like it should have been a strike.
Yeah, that was the pitch that got him to 3-2. This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat. And Carpenter draws the walk. Hader loses it. Just a tremendous at-bat by Carpenter to get on against Josh Hader. And decision time now for Counsell. He's got Jeffress ready to go. Martinez homered off Hader on Monday night, and a double switch coming. Cardinals have the tying run on, and their best hitter for average coming up. A 9-pitch walk for Matt Carpenter.
It could have been a 5-pitch strikeout. Didn't get a call on a low slider.
So a pitching change is coming. We'll set up the changes. 2 outs, 8th inning, 2-1 Brewers lead. And the final regular season road game. Keon Broxton in the game in right field, part of a double switch. That moves Yelich over to left field. Jeremy Jeffress is on the pitch. There is a pinch runner on for the Cardinals at first base, and Kratz wants to get it all worked out with Jose Martinez coming up. Carpenter draws a 9-pitch walk off Josh Hader.
Well, 71st appearance for Jeremy. Last pitched on Friday against the Pirates. 3 up, 3 down, 9th inning. Hasn't pitched a whole lot as of late. You figure he's going to feel pretty strong. Yeah, but you wonder about the command.
That is Hader's runner at first, which is now Adolis Garcia, the pinch runner, the fastest Cardinal. Tying run at first. Go ahead run at the plate. Jeremy Jeffress back on the mound. First ball swinging. Roll to third. Moustakas gloves. Throw to first is low. Gets by. Hits off the turf. Garcia's coming home. He falls down. Kratz can't find him. Now he tags him out to end the inning. Are you kidding me?
Oh, man. Unbelievable. I'm telling you what. He would have scored easily had he been able to stay on his feet. Wow. Wow.
How many horseshoes just fell out of the Brewers' back pocket right there? He was never going to stop. He falls down, the pinch runner, and is an easy out at the plate. We are going to the 9th.
Unbelievable.
road trip right here. As the potential tying run racing around the bags, Rock, on this misthrow by Moustakas.
Yeah, it would have been close. I think I said he would have scored. It would have been pretty close. Perez throws a strike into Kratz, but Adolis Garcia falls down about halfway between third and home, and incredible fortune for Milwaukee. Right here, he goes down. It would have been close at home plate had he not fallen, but he did.
Wow, and a line drive out by Arcia.
Well, what a break.
That was
unbelievable. That's beyond break. That's a miracle.
Arcia lines out for the first out. That's 4 in a row retired by Martinez. I mean, the Cardinals sitting there with not just the potential tying run scoring, that's going to put Jose Martinez at least at second base, maybe third base in that scenario. And the pinch runner, the guy you put into the game specifically to run, falls down.
Yeah. He hit the bag. He got caught up in his steps, did a face plant in the grass, and easy out at home plate. Unbelievable.
One away for Perez.
You know, I think I've said that word unbelievable more this month than I've ever said it in any year.
And we try not to say it.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to be too, crazy about that stuff, but this stuff is crazy. Unbelievable.
I mean, you go from the peaks and the valleys. You think about the call Hader didn't get on the 5th pitch to Carpenter. Could have easily been rung up there. And then as Perez draws the walk, then you get a little tapper to third base. I mean, if it's even a little bit firmer, it's a routine out on the first pitch by Jeffress. But instead it's in that tweener stage where it could have been an infield hit. That would have been a horrible break if Moustakas just holds the throw, doesn't make a play. Now it's, first and second with 2 away. Instead, the tables turn. Go from the outhouse to the penthouse with 1 rolling baseball.
Brewers need to add on here.
Here's Kane with 1 away.
Another base on balls to get things going. The Brewers scored a ton of runs yesterday. This was 1 out and nobody on with the walk, but 2 outs, nobody on was a good formula for success for the Brewers last night.
Back at the top of the order, the Brewers with Kane at the plate and the speedy Perez at first. You see Matt Adams in the game at first. He's in that spot in the batting order where Carpenter was vacated for the pinch runner. Only chance you'd see Adams is if you're in extra innings.
Right. I mean, at least you don't have to worry about having to face him in the 9th inning.
And Jeremy Jeffress will head back out for that 9th inning to try to send the Brewers to the postseason. Kane takes a ball. 3 balls and no strikes. 2nd inning for Martinez. He was lights out in his 1st inning. Struck out the side. Kane takes a strike.
I mean, that could be a deflating play for the Cardinals. I mean, the fans have been affected by it. You got to figure the Cardinals are figuring they've tied the game.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, he falls down. 3rd out in the inning. And
there's a ground ball, gloved by Munoz. Gets the out at 2nd. Kane beats it out at 1st. Keeps the inning alive for Christian Yelich. As we throw it down to Sophia.
Well, we don't know how this game is going to end, but you should stick around for Brewers Live, brought to you by Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin. We'll get inside the Brewers clubhouse. We'll get reaction from manager Craig Counsell, and if there's a win, if they hold on here, just 3 outs away, then we'll get reaction from the players as well. There will be champagne, so it'll be a lot of fun. Again, that's all coming up on Brewers Live after the game.
All right, Sophia, thank you. And the Brewers are hoping that is the way it will end here in St. Louis. They would love nothing more than a champagne shower in the Cardinal clubhouse. 2 outs. Here is Yelich. Runner at first, Kane. The Cardinals in the 9th inning will have DeYoung, Ozuna, and then a pinch hitter. I figured Greg Garcia is going to get an at-bat in the 9th inning. Kane says, I'm not running. I'm going to stand right here and watch Yelich hit one in the red seats.
Yeah, there you go. That'll work.
4 walks tonight for Yelich. That is a career high. Rewriting his own record book in the media guide. Christian Yelich. Career high in homers and RBIs. Got a chance to win a batting title. The league's leading hitter, which has not budged off the .321 average with the 4 walks tonight. One ball, one strike. Martinez wanted that call.
Yep, change up just a little bit off the edge if it was. Ted Bear's been consistent tonight with that. Both sides.
Yelich trying to deliver one more time. Takes a ball. 2-1 the count. Yelich becomes the 4th Brewer to walk 4 times in a game. Actually, the 5th Brewer to walk 4 times in a game in the last decade. Lorenzo Cain just did it a couple of weeks ago against the Cubs. Got the count in his favor. 2 balls, 1 strike, and it is in there for a strike right on the corner.
Yep, change up.
2-2.
Got Keon Broxton on deck. Aguilar out of the game. Got to figure that they're going to be very careful, which they have been all night with Yelich here.
2-2, 2 outs. Long pause by Martinez. And Yelich takes a ball down and in, able to check his swing. Now the count is full. And that'll mean Cain gets a head start. Change up to get to a 2-2 count, and then
breaking ball. Then can't believe he's going to get a fastball for a strike.
Cain will be off to the races. 3-2, 2 outs. There he goes. Yelich takes a ball down and in. His 5th walk of the game. 2 on, 2 outs. And Keon Broxton, who just entered last inning defensively.
Yeah, but in all honesty, why would you pitch to him? I think the Cardinals have learned their lesson in this series. Just put him on, let somebody else drive in some runs. Let's see if Broxton come through here.
Well, wouldn't that be a story? Because of Cain and Yelich and the additions of those two this offseason, that rendered Keon Broxton to AAA for most of the year. He lost his job. 2020 player last year. There goes Cain to third, and no throw. It's a strike. Martinez paying no attention.
And maybe a wild pitch here. Martinez has been known to spike a few breaking pitches.
What a spot for Broxton. No balls and a strike. 1st and 3rd. And a pop-up slicing Martinez. Long way to go. That'll end up in the seats. You notice Yelich was off with the pitch right there. Unlikely the Cardinals cover. If they do,
and they're going to let him steal. They're not going to risk a throw and have Cain just kind of try and steal home plate. They're going to make Broxton drive in some runs here.
No balls, 2 strikes. Keon Broxton has as much power as any Brewer. He's looking for a mistake. 0-2. Yelich goes and a swing and a miss. Changeup got him. Here we go, folks. Bottom of the 9th. Brewers lead 2-1. 1981, first trip to the postseason. They backed it up in 82. CC and the Brewers in 08. Division champs in 11. Is this going to be the 5th postseason berth? We're 3 outs away from finding out. Magic number of 1 to clinch a postseason berth. The Brewers have a lead, 2-1. Bottom of the 9th inning. Jeremy Jeffress back on the mound. Threw 1 pitch in the 8th, and his first offering to Paul DeYoung is in there for strike 1.
Yeah, threw a curveball first pitch to Martinez. He rolled it down to third, so his curveball looks pretty good.
Josh Hader getting the final out of the 7th. Got the first 2 outs of the 8th, and Walt Carpenter. That brought Jeffress on. And Martinez hit that slow roll to third. It was an error by Moustakas, but the pinch runner Garcia falls down. The Brewers get the final out at the plate. And a little handle shot right to Perez. Out number 1 for Jeremy Jeffress.
Got that explosive fastball. You talk about some run. That's Jeremy Jeffress' fastball. Ate him up inside.
Here comes Ozuna. Now the Brewers have their sights set on a potential division title, but first things first, clinching a spot in the postseason. And they do that with a win tonight. It would be a sweep of the Cardinals if they can finish this off. Got a dangerous hitter at the plate, and a low ball hitter at that, and a low ball in there for a strike. 97-mile-an-hour fastball right in Ozuna's wheelhouse.
Yeah, that's exactly where it was too. Down the middle of the plate.
All-star Jeremy Jeffress emerging as the Brewer closer, and he spins one in for a strike, and it's 0-2 on Ozuna.
Yeah, got a call there. That was off the edge. Not too many of those have been called tonight.
0-2 the count. See what Jeffers has for him. He deals, and a swing and a miss, a strikeout for out number 2.
There's a curveball. He put it in a good spot. There's a couple of breaking pitches back to back. Able to get him on the swing and miss on one off the plate. Perfect pitch with 2 strikes.
2 up, 2 down. One more piece to the puzzle for Jeremy Jeffress. Tyler O'Neill, who hit a walk-off home run here on Sunday for the Saturday, I beg your pardon, for the Cardinals. 2 outs in the 9th. It's been 2-1 since the 5th inning. Big power hitter at the plate. Jeffress deals him a fastball low. Jeffress looks good. I mean, he's got his A game on right now.
He's putting the baseball exactly where he wants it. You know, those 2 curveballs to Ozuna, perfect example of it.
1 ball, no strikes. And a swing and a miss. Gave him a spinner, and it's 1-1. Neck spasms not available Monday. We saw him warming in the bullpen yesterday. And he is in the game trying to secure a postseason berth for Milwaukee right here. A ball and a strike and a swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. Cardinals down to their last strike. That Brewers dugout is ready to erupt.
Yeah, they're ready to go.
One and 2 to Tyler O'Neill. 2 outs in the 9th. Jeffress deals, and he struck him out, and the Brewers win. Back to the postseason. Milwaukee.
Wow.
A sweep of the Cardinals, and the Brewers have secured a berth in the postseason in 2018. What a scene.
What a season. What a season these guys have had. My goodness. What a September they've had. What a series here in St. Louis. And how many times have the St. Louis Cardinals sent the Brewers home to end the season? Well, not today.
There will be October baseball